So this time on Pawpaw's Speed Shop, we're gonna try to fulfill our quest to do a burnout in our conquest. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, so update of the current situation. Yesterday, Austin and I tried to take the Conquest for a drive, and that didn't turn out too well. We literally got about 600 feet. So we came back in, and started looking at timing. And then we had the guru come out, which is our elder father, and he came out and started talking about distributor stuff, and you know, who knows about that kind of crap anymore. And turns out that some jackleg who worked on this thing before us had taken the distributor out, clocked it wrong, and put it back in because we couldn't get the thing to come into timing just from the adjustment that's built into it. So then I also looked up proper gap for the spark plugs, and Austin gapped those for me. I think we did 036, 035. They're supposed to be like 044, but turbo motors, I've always done them a little bit tighter than 045. My GTI XR runs on 031, I think is what I gapped mine to, and he runs 20 pounds of boost. So other things that I did this morning, I started checking around vacuum lines, trying to get the vacuum advance to work, which it does now. Ran a vacuum line to that because whatever line was to it is plugged up with something. Also hooked up a vacuum line to the blow-off valve, checked to make sure the wastegate works. We're just going to shut that thing straight off all the way to see if we can get the thing to push any boost, to see if we can finally try to get a burnout out of this thing. I know this thing's got it, and it's got a limited slip in it too, which means both tires will be burning. Our first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the fuel pressure. Now, I haven't figured out what this is supposed to be running, but the elder guru, or the Swedish chef, our father, we've been working on DSMs for a while. We've had a lot of them with fuel delivery issues and stuff like that. So figuring out what pressure they're running at is kind of a necessity. So he took a bolt, welded a bung to the end of it, drilled a hole through the center of it. Did he drill that hole?
Yeah.
Was this already? Yeah, he drilled the hole. And so we can hook a tube. Where is my gauge? We can hook a tube to it, like this, with a gauge on the end of it, like that. And we can tell what kind of pressure we're running while running the car. So it's a live feed to the oil pressure without having to have any fancy tech.
Fuel pressure.
What'd I say?
Oil.
Fuel pressure, not oil pressure.
Ew. Down.
How far?
About 32. Down to 25. That's 25 pounds. That's a fuel pressure regulator issue. Is that totally crazy? I mean, the engine's not under a load right now, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, but it was barely revving to 4,000.
What was that?
6,300.
Huh. a fuel delivery issue.
Yeah.
Which is kind of not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, is the fuel pump just that tired?
No, the fuel pump's doing fine. It's the filters. It's the foot and the filter, I'm sure. So.
Those aren't real hard problems to fix. I mean, a filter is really easy.
What? 6,000 RPM. Running better than it has.
But, I mean, I think it's real telling. It dropping to like 15 PSI is no good.
The injectors aren't going after that.
Injectors, a fuel filter. The blow-off valve is working a little bit.
Good. It should be.
I can hear it from outside the car.
All I can hear is exhaust and turbo.
Yeah. You didn't hear it go choo?
No, because it's way up front.
Yeah. Those tires are too wide.
Hey dude, check it out. Look at that.
Oh man.
That's a satellite.
It is, yeah. Like a 73 or 4?
Oh, 7 PSI.
Yeah. I told you it's making boost. I think you fixed the boost problem.
This thing's slow.
It's slow because you can't make any horsepower with no
fuel.
No fuel.
Alright, let's go for a drive.
I just kind of want to hear it shift through its gears a little bit if you can just nurse it up to speed.
Oh, I think it'll go to fine.
It'll let you see how crappy these front tires are too.
Oh god. Alright, it's in drive. It's not loving the park bottle.
No. What is that noise?
It's this right here. It's this thing right here.
Oh. Or just tuck it in.
Alright, that should hold it. All of this is broken. Like, I thought I played with that piece. I wish we owned all of it.
Oh my gosh.
That right rear rubs too.
Yeah.
That thing is slammed
We're gonna have to jack this thing back up a little bit.
a little bit. Alright, downhill from here. Is that really a cop right now? Totally was.
Is that a cop?
Is that a Tahoe? That was a Tahoe.
Oh man.
We don't have any brakes. That's all we got right there.
That's all we got?
Here's an update, guys.
Oh.
So we're checking out the fuel delivery issue. There's a little hole. I think that might be insulation from the factory or it's a rat's nest. There's a little cover that you can take off to get there. Austin just spat himself to death because he got gasoline all in his headlights. So what we did in between the previous day and the next evening when we actually had time to do the burnout was Austin took apart the filter, blew it out. That actually didn't look that dirty, but I took apart the fuel sending unit and where the fuel pump and everything's located, which is an external fuel pump, which is really cool actually. And when I took that apart, found this little cone filter. That little joker was so packed with literally just sediment and like rust, like barnacle. I just call it the Titanic sediment. That it wouldn't flow anything through it. So I cleaned that out, put it back in, blew out the feed line and everything like that. Tried to crack all the lines. I couldn't get a lot of the fuel lines apart. Purged the system, let it run some gasoline through it, got some really nasty stuff out of it. Hooked it back up, thing revved out fine. Oh, it revved to 6,000 RPM. Then when we started down the driveway, I don't know what was going on, but the shifter wouldn't go into drive, wouldn't go into reverse, wouldn't find any gear at all. And it might have been because it was tilted up. We did check the transmission fluid, which is kind of weird. Kept fuel pressure the whole time. And we did actually get to do a burnout. Is it a actual burnout? I don't know. Not really. It did leave some pretty good scratch on the driveway. Both wheels did spin, so the limited slip works perfectly. Did make 7 pounds of boost, but it's still a very lackluster burnout. This car is going to do a big old fat smoky burnout with that driveline in it.
There we go.
First. That was 7 PSI.
Well, it won't rev out though, it needs more fuel.
We're back down low to fuel. Still got 50 pounds of fuel pressure. Pop the hood.
Most of it was just steam last time.
Is it overheating?
It smells like transmission.
Does it?
What'd you say?
It smells like transmission.
Probably is.
Because you never got the torque converter to
Lock up.
Lock up. And so I think you've got a lot of heat in the torque converter in the transmission fluid right now.
Well, you did clean the asphalt back here. I do. You weren't really able to see what you did do, did you?
No,
Or
I didn't see anything.
You wanted to not be able to see yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm not satisfied with that at all.
Yeah, no, that was just the tires
crazy.
actually spun like that was it. It never revved out. It never caught up and took.
You still got fuel pressure though, right?
Yeah,
50
it's
pounds
40 to
when you
50.
rev it up.
I need to check the transmission.
Basically, what I have coming for the next video is we're going to disconnect the rear brakes, service the transmission with a filter and fluid. We're going to service the engine, make sure everything's good. We're going to clean the injectors because we have an ultrasonic cleaner, and we might not go that far, but we're at least going to clean the screens and stuff that are on them. And we might even just build a standalone fuel system just for the time being to make our lives easier and make the thing run consistently better. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. Hope you liked it, and please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And if you really liked what you saw, maybe you share it. I don't know. We'll see. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.